correct that you've been offered and accepted the job to coach the Austrian national team?
Tonight is our game against Chelsea, and I don't want to speak about anything else, and please accept that and respect that. So please only ask questions about tonight's game.
You won't comment on whether you've accepted the job or not?
No.
That's the tantamount to a yes.
Pardon?
Any questions on the game?
No, I said let us speak about the game. What I can tell you and confirm is that I will definitely continue with my consultancy role at the end of the season and for the next 2 years, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
Is that because Erik ten Hag has now contacted you? Because you did say previously it's a piece of paper, it's a contract, but life works, work like that.
Yeah.
So.
No, we haven't spoken, Erik and myself, but we have spoken with the board about the content and the profile of the job and the content of that consultancy role. We spoke about that, and that's why I can now confirm that I will definitely continue with that at the end of the season.
What did you think of tonight's performance? Did you think you were perhaps fortunate in the first half?
Sorry?
Did you think you were fortunate in the first half?
Yes, we were fortunate in the first half. We needed some great saves from David again and some last-ditch tackles. I thought in the second half we were better. We had more moments when we could get hold of the ball, although we conceded the goal then after 60 minutes. But I think we showed a good reaction to that goal, scored a brilliant goal ourselves with an amazing assist by Nemanja and a great finish from Cristiano. And I think in the last 20 minutes it was an open game. They could have scored. We were fortunate when Reece James hit the post, but we also had our moments with Cristiano. We could have scored one or two goals, but I think overall we have to admit we were fortunate to get that point. But the result that the reaction that we showed in the second half was good. There is no reason to blame anyone with regard to attitude, but you could still see that we are. Especially when a team like Chelsea is in possession of the ball, that we are still far away from controlling the game.
Ronaldo scored 8 of your last 9 goals in the Premier League. Is it frightening for a club like this that they are so dependent on a 37-year-old?
Yes, but we also just go through the list of names that are missing since the West Ham game, and then you will realize that we had all the offensive players on the pitch. The only offensive player that we still had available was Juan Mata. He came on for the last 20 minutes.
All season now. I mean, Ronaldo is so far and away your dominant goal-scoring figure. Barely been any goals in the rest of the team.
Yeah, but still, we have to be still fair with the players. We had quite a few other players also scoring goals. I remember my first, 10 games, and we had 10 different goal scorers. So I think this has also got to do that how many opportunities can we create and how many players do we have available. I mean, just compare again our bench today with the bench that Chelsea had and the first 11 that they had. This is not an excuse, but just an explanation. And yes, right now we very much rely on Cristiano. He also showed a good performance when Chelsea was in possession. He helped out a lot in the second half defensively. But I already told you in one of the press conferences a couple of weeks ago that there has to be a focus on bringing in a couple of new strikers. This is for sure.
Did you think the atmosphere with the fans, the protests, had any bearing on the performance on the pitch?
Well, I thought the atmosphere was, as always, the supporters were behind the team. They were always trying to be behind us, and I couldn't see any difference or didn't feel any difference between tonight and all the other home games that we had so far.
In terms of the substitutions, bring on the senior players first, was that because the game was still in balance, and then Alejandro coming on for his debut later on?
Yeah, obviously we wanted at least that point and still have a chance to score ourselves in the last couple of minutes. I decided to bring on Phil Jones and then play in the last 15 minutes with a back five in order to get more control on their right side, because that was causing us problems most of the time with Reece James and Mason Mount and even another player. So they had 3 players on that side, and this was difficult for Anthony Alanga and for Alex Telles to get hold of that. That's why we decided to bring on Phil Jones and create more width at the back.
Ralph, you need to win the last 3 games to avoid the lowest points total Manchester United have had in the Premier League era. How does that make you feel, and what does that say about where this team is at the moment and the road ahead forward?
I think we spoke about that in the last couple of weeks, that it was overall a difficult season. We could have quite a few more points. I wouldn't say easily, but realistically we should have more points. As I told you, I think that we dropped out of the Champions League against Atletico Madrid was a massive blow with regard to, I wouldn't say not only confidence, but also energy in the team. And that's why, for me, it's important that we showed a reaction today in the second half, that we got at least a point against one of the top 3 teams in England. And now it's about us to finish the season on the best possible note.
Okay, last question.
There's obviously some doubts about whether Cristiano will stay here next year, and obviously, Eric will be involved in that decision, I'm sure. But in your role as a consultant, would you advise that he is someone that has to stay here, do you think, next season?
Again, I think this is something that we should speak between us, between either Eric and the board and myself. Cristiano has another year of contract. It's also important to see and find out what Cristiano wants to do, if he wants to stay. But again, I haven't been able to speak with Eric so far, and therefore it doesn't make sense to speak about that right now.
Okay, we'll take questions.